Have you ever tried to learn something new and after a few months or even days of being so into it, you give up and lose interest because of the challenges that you face? Well, don't let go of it just yet. Welcome to Luxio. In this video, we're giving you the 10 most common mistakes that you make when learning. And who knows, maybe by the end of this video, you'll get right back in the saddle and feel inspired again. But before we dive in, click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on more of our awesome videos. 1. You ignore the basics. There isn't anything that doesn't have a simple version of it. Everything rests on a solid foundation. The concepts of maintaining upright and not falling on your arms apply even in walking. You usually know what they are. You make the mistake of looking at the foundation and thinking, "That's easy, let's move on." Ask any high-performing athlete or top-level coach and they'll all tell you the same thing. Master the fundamentals first. However, they may appear dull to you. It would be a waste of time to practice something so simple, and this is where the error occurs. You'll soon find yourself absolutely disoriented as if you skipped 8 chapters of a book and have no idea who is who. You try to retrace your steps to discover what you missed, but you've already gotten too far ahead of yourself and are skipping fundamentals. The only way to correct your error is to forget everything and start over. So master the fundamentals first. 2. There's too much in one shot. You've discovered something that piques your interest. You can't seem to get enough of it. You can't recall the last time you were so enthusiastic about something. Maybe you finally found it and the hunt is over. It's a lovely sensation, but another major blunder is on the horizon. You'll notice that your enthusiasm wanes. Yesterday, you couldn't stop watching YouTube videos about the subject, but you don't want to hear about it today. You require some time away from it and then you tell yourself you'll go back to it later, but you never do. So what's the problem? You take an overload of the information that there is such a thing as overtraining. You can only take in so much information at once. You require the maximum amount of learning input before it becomes too much and causes harm. Even if you eat your favorite cuisine for 3 weeks in a row, it will ultimately make you sick. We're sure you've all had this experience at some point in your lives. You got really into something and then life got in the way. Maintain a daily routine. Make enough progress to feel accomplished. Believe enough for tomorrow to keep you motivated. 3. You failed to put it into action. It should be self-explanatory, but let's dig a little further. Consider the case of writing. We feel that writing is an underappreciated ability for everybody, regardless of who they are or what they do. The ability to put your thoughts into actions and connect with others is incredibly valuable. It also helps you in thinking more clearly and organizing your thoughts. Everyone should be able to write, so how do you put that knowledge into practice? It doesn't have to be fancy, as you can see. You simply need to find a simple and straightforward method of putting things into practice. 4th, you need a good benchmark. How can you know if you're doing well or not when no one is grading you? How can you tell if you're learning the right things or even making any progress? Consider the example of drawing. Some people believe that drawing is impossible for them. They attempt to sketch a horse but end up with a chair. I'm not sure how you ended up there, but it happens all the time. But suppose you decide you can learn to draw, and who knows, maybe in a few years you can do it professionally. What is a good benchmark? The paintings on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. It'll be difficult to tell if you're progressing without a good baseline. You'll lose motivation and eventually give up. Find achievable and somewhat out-of-reach objectives to avoid making this error. There are several in a row. You'll have a goal to aim for and know what to focus on next. 5. You move too quickly. You make the error of moving too quickly without knowing what you're doing. You'll acquire just a vague understanding. Your learning will be superficial, and you'll become overconfident. 6. You seek out shortcuts. Quick question, do you believe in life's shortcuts? Surprisingly, the answer is yes. The issue is that you have to pay to obtain them, and they only work later. That is why businesses have advisors and individuals have mentors. These are people that have done the job before and have a lot of expertise. They may bring a lot of value and know-how to the table, which considerably speeds up the process. However, it only works if you already have a foot in the door. Now all that's left is to get the other foot in as quickly as possible. However, there are no shortcuts when you're just starting out. You must complete the task yourself. 7. You never get past the honeymoon stage. The end of your honeymoon phase is the most important point in your learning. That's when you'll either quit or succeed. Take a look at this graph from the beginning to get a better understanding. Things are thrilling and you feel a surge in your body. But as time passes, the honeymoon period fades away. You realize things are more difficult than you anticipated, that perhaps you aren't cut out for this, that perhaps this isn't worth it at all, and you reach a crisis point. It's the most crucial stage of your learning. Will you come right back or will you give up? The majority of people give up because they can't look past the issue. So how would you get over it? Unfortunately, we don't have an appropriate response. Everyone is unique. You must investigate your own logic. However, once you've gotten through the crisis, you'll be able to realize your full potential. This is known as the runner's high by individuals who run frequently. Your legs are trembling, you're out of breath, and you're afraid you'll pass out if you take another step. If you keep going, you'll discover energy reserves you didn't know you had. Number 8. You can't accept that you fail. For the most part in your early days, you will fail a lot and find it difficult to accept. You'll feel as if no matter how hard you work, you're barely getting anywhere. Even after 100 pages, your writing will be terrible. Even after 100 paintings, your work will be mediocre. Your code will simply stop working for no apparent reason. That's a natural element of development. Everyone sucks at first, right? It's alright. That is why you have attainable goals. You'll see minor improvements if you persist at it long enough. However, you must expect that you will fail at first. 9. You don't keep your error. You don't want to see how badly you've done. It's unattractive, rough around the edges, and unpolished. Maybe you hurried it. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you just don't get it and decide to delete everything and try again later. However, this is a major error. There's a fantastic interview with John Mayer where he discusses how technology may sometimes stifle creativity. The belief that if you always remove your lousy work, you'll never be able to improve it. If you keep deleting version 1.0, you'll never get version 1.1. Remove backspace from your inventory when learning. It will be highly beneficial to you. Iteration allows you to progress, but you must first have something to iterate on. This may be the most useful piece of advice on the list. And lastly, 10. You wait for it to be ready. You will never know everything there is to know about anything. You will never be completely prepared, and your work will never be completed. You'll have to remind yourself at some point, okay, this is what I know so far. Let's get a second opinion. Feedback is beneficial, but don't wait too long to receive it. Waiting too long will just lengthen the time it takes to improve. This is why many are reluctant to learn. They simply don't have a compelling motive, and there is no external explanation. You must discover your own reason and make it a compelling one. It should leave you feeling motivated and inspired. Finding the proper motive for you will make learning 10 times easier. We know the road can be hard and bumpy, and you'll face a lot of challenges like errors along the way, but we advise you to keep going. For any project, big or small, trust the process and believe that you are deserving of great success. As always, we thank you for supporting our channel. If you haven't yet, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and valuable content like this. We'll see you in the next video.